Hi there, I'm Connie from The Wanderer Photographer, and today I'm going to share with you my number one tip to improve your photos really fast. And that is training your eye. You might think that photography is all about having the best camera, but in reality, it is about how well we see the world and how we capture it. So, how do we do that? You can start by looking everything around you as a potential photograph. See the lights, see the shadows, the contrast, lines, patterns. So one of the main reasons why training your eye is so important is for when you're actually taking photos. Identifying a photo that is out of focus is crucial, mainly because that is something that so far is not recoverable unless, well, there is some softwares that can really help. But ideally you want to take the photo right the first time. And if it is a photo that you can retake or try to recreate on the spot, then you need to know when you double check your photos after you take them if something is actually sharp or not. And believe it or not, it is a usual problem for beginners to think that a photo is actually sharp when it is a little bit out of focus. Another issue that most beginners have is that they confuse motion blur with out of focus. Those are completely different things. Out of focus is a focusing problem, so the photo is basically out of focus, and motion blur is caused by motion, so a fast moving object and a slow shutter speed. So they are two different problems with two very different solutions. So by identifying and knowing which one's which will make your life so much easier. But again, they both look very similar. A very trained eye would know the difference between the two and therefore will know the solution. And this is not just important for when you're taking photos, it is actually even more important for when you edit your photos. Why do I say that? Well, when we edit photos, you don't use all of the sliders, you don't use all of the options, you actually have to tweak whatever is wrong. And to understand that, you actually need to know what is wrong in a photo. So for example, here, in this photo, I wouldn't add anything else but contrast. Because it was taken with a flat light, because it was cloudy, the photo looks a bit flat, and that's why I'm adding some contrast, right? In this photo here, my white balance was a bit off, so everything looks a bit blue. So I fixed the white balance because the photo was actually, in reality, was more red than blue. The first thing I did to edit this photo was to adjust the white balance. For example, in this other photo, the highlights are very bright and we're not seeing any information or details. So I know that what I need to do here is to pull the highlights down so I can recover some information. In this photo here, the shadows look a bit too dark. So the shadows are the darkest part of your photo. So we don't find information in the shadows, meaning that it's so dark that we cannot see texture or color apart from black. We can improve that by pulling up the shadows a little bit to the right. So that is how important this is. It's not that we randomly move stuff around when we edit. We actually need to know what needs to be done in a photo. So really, when it comes to training your eye, you really have to look through many photographs, as many as you can. Find your favorite artist, identify their style, and then you can start seeing, oh, like this artist, like Wes Anderson, for example, his skies are always teal. His reds are always a bit too orange, right? It's his style. But when you see that, when you start seeing the color and you start seeing the light, like something is overexposed here, something is underexposed here, contrast is too high or the contrast is too low, then is when the improvement happens. And this, actually, I think you never actually stop learning. This is something that I'm actually, like, currently, I'm still seeing new things as I edit more and as I take more and more photos. So this is a never-ending journey. My tip here is just be aware that you are also training your eye. So when you like a photo, ask yourself, why? Why do I like this photo? When you don't like a photo, ask yourself why. Why don't you like that photo? Why you prefer this one over that one? Then of course all the technical stuff comes in. And it's important to know what settings to use, what focal length to use, what lens to use, etc. That's another story. But this is even more important than the technical side of things. I have created a guide for you that will help you improve your photos even more, just giving you some examples of when a photo looks like this is the problem, right? And the things you have to avoid and the things you have to do in post-processing too. I hope this is helpful, and for more tips and tricks, just follow my Instagram account, and I'll see you soon.